Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. So for today we have another flower letter. I just want to let you guys know that I apologize for the delay in the flower letters. I have been sick. I got down with COVID, so I was sick for a whole week, and then right after that I had to go and have my wisdom tooth cut out. Recovering from that, so I do apologize for that, but you guys are going to see a bunch of these flower letters probably posted a little bit sooner than what I usually do. I usually post on either Friday night or Sunday night, just kind of depending on what I do, but you guys probably will see these a little bit more, so we can go ahead and we can get caught up with these. So I know I haven't talked about this for a while, but this is a subscription. You can get on flowerletters.com and you can choose whatever letter that you want. They have a couple of different choices if you guys want to get on there and you just want to look. You get 24 letters, which is a whole year subscription pretty much. You get 2 letters a month for $12 a month. And each one is different. Each is based in a different era. Each has its own adventures, its own little extras. It's just something really cute that you can get in the mail. I really, really like it. We are currently on the Lily Clara collection, which is a Wild West adventure. If I have anybody new and you're curious, you just don't know, what it is. So each letter has been thoroughly researched and thoughtfully designed by hand, which I really, really like. And I love the flower creation that they have on each letter, and they're all like different, and I really, really like that. Each tells a different story, like I said earlier, and some stories might be based on, maybe actual like locations or maybe like an event that might have happened, but the characters are fictional. Each tale is like a thrilling tale. It's filled with history, mystery, adventure, romance, so it kind of has a little bit of something for everybody. Like I said, it's just a cute little surprise that you can get in the mail, and I really, really enjoy it. Especially like on rainy days or just days I may not be feeling well and I get one of these letters and I really enjoy reading it. It gives me something to do, and I like the little projects that comes with it. So let's open this letter and let's see who it's from. This is letter number 7. Okay, so we have a beautiful little postcard. Like always, they send you at least one postcard in every mail, and I love the purple background in this one. These will look so good like framed, and I keep saying that I'm going to do something with them, and then I end up forgetting, or I've just got other projects and I forget. But these are really, really pretty, and if you're somebody that sends postcards, like this would be really, really cool to send to somebody. Looks like we have the letter, and we have an attention read last. I would say this is probably an extra. And then we have another attention read last. Now this one says 3, and then this one says 4. So I guess this one is going to come before that one. And then we have our business card, and I'm going to hold it up so you guys can see it. And that little boy is adorable with his little glasses, and it looks like he might be wearing his dad's hat and coat, which is way too big for him. So I'm going to say that this is like a clothing card. Yeah. Down here it says boys long pants suits. It says $2.75, $3.50, $4. Wow, it's hard to believe that something like that was like $2.75. It also says suits for men. They start at $3.50, $4.50, $5.50, or their $8 all wool suits are equal to any $12 suits ever shown. Wow, it's hard to believe that, something like that was just like $12. But that was a lot of money though back then, really, if you think about it. But that's super, super cute. Love it. So I'm gonna save these for last, and we'll jump into the letter. And the letters have been kind of long, so I've just been trying to kind of get into them. Okay, this one's actually just 2 pages, it looks like, and the writing is different, so let's see. And it looks like we might have like a Grand Canyon or something on the picture, this one too. So This letter looks like it's going to be to Miss Moore, so this could be Mr. Hickman writing to Miss Moore, so we will see what he has to say. May 30th, 1884. Dear Miss Moore, thank you for your letter. I knew you were something special the moment I saw you giving McDonald's great oath what for back in Chicago, and your latest letter just confirmed it. Since you've agreed to exchange letters with me, I'll do my darndest to supply you with my most interesting adventures during our correspondence. I'm very glad you've been able to find a suitable position with Miss Lottie. She's a fine woman with a heart of gold. I've grown fond of her during my various visits to Frisco. You can say she's the eccentric rich aunt I never had, and you're right, all those girls dancing, singing, and whatnot for her would do something much less reputable if it wasn't for her and that heart of gold. Many of those girls were orphans or were widows due to mining accidents and the shadier goings on in Frisco. She saved every one of them from taking on to the streets, including you, it appears. Not implying that you intended to take to the streets, of course, but I don't think many of the girls that do ever intend to in the first place. As the son of a mother, left in dear circumstances when my father passed, I'm much obliged to women like Miss Lottie. I'm glad you found room and board with a Mormon family. They're peculiar, all right, but I had quite a little interaction with them during my time as a Texas Ranger. That was before I joined the Pinkertons, being a lawman, and who can blame them after what they faced back in Missouri? However, once they've seen I mean them no harm, they've usually warmed right up and are mostly kind. So Frisco has a ghost now, you say? Well, how about that? I've heard many a specter story out here in the Western Territory and have seen a few things I can't rightly explain. I'm not saying I believe in ghosts or the like, but if you like your blood chilled now and again, Miss Moore, the Navajo Trail sure has a few stories they tickle your spine. I look forward to hearing more about this specter development. Now you asked me to tell you a bit more about myself. While I'd usually rather dance with a pair of scorpions, I'll oblige in your case, especially since I hope you'll tell me more about yourself in return. I was born and raised in Texas. My daddy was a Texas Ranger and unfortunately a careless gambling man. He was a good man though. Being anti-slavery, he and my 3 older brothers left Texas to go fight for the Union. When the rebel states turned, this and of course my daddy's gambling debts didn't make Texas a very welcoming place for me and my mama. When I finally turned 16 and could take over paying the debts, mama moved back to Pennsylvania where her people are. Not too long after that, I got word that my daddy and brothers were all killed in the war. Rather than following my mama back east, I decided to stay behind and clear up my daddy's debts so they wouldn't follow her back there. I decided the best way to do that was to join up with the Texas Rangers myself. The pay was decent, and with only myself and mama to support, I was able to make some good headway on clearing my dad's name. I was with the Rangers for a few years back in the 70s. I was part of the posse that helped Armstrong take down John Wilson Hardin and his gang. That's when I met Bill Pinkerton and his father, who had been hired to go after Hardin by a private party. I guess old Pinkerton saw something in me that he thought would make a pretty good detective, because when Hardin was finally behind bars, he invited me to come work for their agency in Chicago. Unfortunately, I still had a sight of debt left to pay, so I told them I wouldn't go until it was paid off. Pinkerton offered to pay my debt if I came and worked for him immediately. He said I could pay it back over time. As a then 19-year-old, becoming a Pinkerton sounded like quite the adventure, so I accepted. I've been working out of Chicago ever since. That was 7 years ago, and for a while I was satisfied with the work and pretty good at it too. Something happened last year, however, that has me a mite disillusioned to it all. I'm tired and weathered beyond my years, I guess. Chasing outlaws and the Apache for too long has left me callous and a bit harder than I think my mama would like. This is my last case for the Pinkertons though. I plan to head further west and settle down in California when I'm done. I like it out there. There's a lot of fresh air, sunshine. Crops grow real well, and I feel like if there's any good life left to be gotten after the things I've seen, that's where I'll find it. How's that for a bit more about myself? Don't worry, I've got more to tell. I just don't want to give it all away for fear you'll stop writing to me out of sheer boredom. Now, Miss Moore, we've already been through a spell of trouble together. I know how closely you guard your own reputation, and I know I can trust you with my own, which is why I don't mind telling you about the spell of mischief the stars have had me under the last fortnight. Perhaps as a woman you'll be able to shed a little light on their shenanigans. Not saying women in general get up to shenanigans, of course, you just might understand the way they think a mite better than a man. After all, I've never chased lady outlaws before, and I'd happily accept any input you might feel inclined to share. The stars have been getting a real kick out of sending me on a wild goose chase. First they led me into the most peculiar and confounded canyon I've ever seen. It was nothing like red rock and strange totem-like pillars for as far as the eye could see. The Paiute call it Unka Tempi Wawens Pokit, which I think has something to do with red rocks standing like men in a bowl-shaped raven. Mighty accurate description if you ask me. I was lost in there encircling that bowl-shaped raven for 3 days before I finally found my way out again. A few days later, the stars stole my horse out from under me. They ran off with her and the rest of my rig while I was getting some shut-eye in a tree. At first I thought I'd run into some trouble with the natives, but the stars always leave their mark, 3 stars forming a triangle. Who knows where I'd be if it weren't for a kindly old hermit living in a cave near the mouth of the canyon. He gave me enough food and a mule to get down to Canyonville for new supplies. The stars may have been kind to you, Miss Moore, but they've been nothing but a real pain in the rear to me, if you'll pardon my saying so. I'm in Canyonville now. I'm posting this letter to you and then I'll be moving on. The stars may be leading me to a piper's tune, but I'm determined to discover what they're about. Speaking of trouble, I wish I had known who you were off to marry when you told me on the train. If I had known it was Gambit, I'd have stolen you away from that train and married you myself, just to save you the trouble. Never mind how self-serving it would be on my part. I would never send my bride an escort, for one thing. If she was as fine and pretty a lady as you, I would have stopped at nothing to escort her myself. But Gambit is the worst kind of varmint. We've dealt with him and his men in Chicago off and on since the Horn Silver mine opened. Seems he thinks that mine is going to keep giving up silver forever, and maybe it will. He sure acts that way, and when he visits old MacDonald at the store, one of these days he'll regret loosening his saddlebags like he does. In fact, I start to wonder why he's robbing trains like he is when he owns shares in the richest silver mine in the world. I'll be sending some of my ranger friends his way if I cross their path anytime soon. Well, Miss Moore, I'll say goodbye for now. Last I heard, the stars were heading back towards Glendale and Ortonville. If I don't catch them there, I'll head south to Canal. You can send any letters you feel like writing. Hopefully there will be several to Canal. I'll be stopping there in a fortnight or so, bearing I don't run into future mischief along the way. I sure like to see your pretty handwriting again when I get there. Makes a man feel real warm at night when a letter like that, tucked right next to his heart for safekeeping. Yours truly, Mr Hickman. And then here at the bottom, if you guys can see that, it says, to learn more about the Bryce Canyon, the early Mormon settlers of the Utah Territory, and John Wilson Hardin, please visit the Learn page at theflowerletter.com. Okay, so that was the letter, guys. Sounds super exciting. His adventures out there, so I can't wait to hear more about it. So let's open this. And okay, so here is another map. And I said when we got another map that I will start on it, and I have the first one right here, so we can start on it. Let's see. It says May 7th through June 1st of 1884. It says the Paiute called the strange canyon I got lost in Unka Tempe Wawens Po Chikich, means red rock standing like men in a bowl-shaped canyon. Felt like I was lost in a great petrified forest of those sequoias up north. Oh, and here's a picture of it too, in case you guys want to see, I guess, his description of what it is. And then up here it says, slept under this arch with my horse standing guard. Could see every star in the big old Milky Way. A pack of coyotes begun tracking me and old Orrin the moment we entered the canyon. Heard them yelping in the distance. Started counting stars to keep my mind straight. My dreams were sweet relief filled with Miss Moore and those bright blue sparks in her eyes. I'm guessing this must be it here. And then this one says, thank goodness Jeb still lives in the old hermit cave just shy of Cannonville. I was half starved when I showed up at his door, even half starved. That Slumgullion stew he always ends up feeding me didn't improve. Told him he either needs to go woo himself a wife or learn how to cook. I wasn't sad to borrow his mule and go find myself some real grub in Cannonville. And then here's the picture, I guess, of the cabin. And then the bottom one says, sleeping in the tree with the bright stars are on the loose wasn't my brightest idea yet. I sure missed old Orrin and my rig. My spare pistols was in that satchel. Picked up a set of Colts like Hardin's pair of 1877s in the Canyonville. These look like they've been to Hades and back. Yeah, well, as Paul always says, a crack shot is a crack shot regardless of the instrument. So that's pretty funny. So, okay, so there's the map again. Okay, so here is the map, and so we're going to start right here where it says Frisco. So we're just going to kind of circle it, and then we're going to just kind of go over, and then up to Black Rock, and then we're going to go on up to where it says Neals. And then from there, we're going to go on up to where it says Leamington. And then we're going to go right over, and then we're going to go right over here to where it says Levin, because that's where the top of the map kind of left off. And I kind of hope that I did that right, at least drew the line right so you guys can see. And then our next letter started off, and I gotta try to find it. It looks like we're gonna go on this one. He's gonna go from Frisco, and then he's gonna come all the way down to where Canyonville is, which is right here. And then I think it's going to come out over here. Then it's going to come back down, and it's going to go to Kanab. So really, he's going to go all over this map, guys. But I'm just going by what his little map says. So here's the little map again, so you guys can see. That way you guys can follow along. And as you can see, he's all over here in the canyon. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to mark this, and we're going to come from Frisco all the way over to Milford, and then we're going to come down to Beaver, and then we're going to come on over. We're going to come down to Orton, and then we're going to come on down here and come over here where the canyon would have been, and then we're just going to kind of loop it back, and then we're going to come all the way down here to where it says Nab. And I, again, hope I did that right. So based on the map so far, this was the first map that we got, and I'm assuming maybe he came from up here and came down to Frisco instead of going up. So I could have been wrong, guys. And then from there, he would have, see how it connects there? It would have went to Beaver, and then it would have went all the way down to Canyonville, and then here was the canyon, and then it would have come down. Now he may come back up from there. I don't know. I guess we'll find out in the next letter, but we will keep tracking him to find out more about his destination. But for so far, this is what we've got. So he went a long way so far. Okay, so we have 2 last things. So we have an attention read last, and this has got 3, and then we have an attention read last 4. So let's read this one first. Looks like a telegram. Says Utah Central Railway Station. It says to Mr. Bill Pinkerton, Bill, tell Rigby I know what the stars stole from him. If he wants it back, he better tell me where they're hiding, and soon. Matt. This was signed June 1st, 1884. Then this one, it's got 4 on it. Says Chicago Railroad Station, Chicago, Illinois. It says to Agent Matthew Hickman. The cap says he doesn't know, said if you were any good at your job, you'd have caught them in Frisco. What I told him in return isn't polite enough to repeat via wire, but you're welcome. He must really want what they've got, cause either of us are fired. Recommendation, wrap this one up as soon as possible. Also, run into Gambit back here. Came to collect his men from McDonald. Tread lightly around this one, laddie. He's a tricky sort, and I don't think he's done bothering your Miss Moore. Bill. Uh-oh, guys, that sounds like trouble. This was also signed June 2nd, 1884. Sounds to me like we're going to be having some real trouble here, guys, that Gambit isn't done with Miss Moore yet. I hope you guys like the map. It was a little bit confusing for me. I do hope that I got the locations right, just like following him up and down. But I do hope you guys like that. I hope you like the letter. Do let me know what you think about it so far. I can't wait. It sounds like we've got a lot of adventure and mystery getting ready to come up, and I'm really curious to find out like what the stars stole. I don't think it ever really told. It just said they stole something from a safe, so I'm kind of curious about what they stole and why he wants it back so like bad. So I hope you guys are enjoying this letter, and I will see you guys back here in my next letter. Bye.